Hi, this is Anand Sureka. I work as a senior sales engineer at Guardian Analytics, and we're going to spend the next few minutes looking at the Guardian Analytics wire solution for fraud prevention. What you're looking at is the dashboard page, a lot of summary level information about all wires at the bank. But for our demonstration, we're going to focus on a day in the life of a fraud analyst, which would begin on the Alerts tab here. Before we begin, just wanted to point out that all the data that we're looking at is real customer data. We've obfuscated sensitive information like account numbers so that we can show you how the solution works in the real world. Now, thousands of wires on this particular day, the solution would risk score all transactions. And as a fraud analyst, I only need to focus on the high risk ones, that's the reds, and there are only 17 transactions that I need to focus on. Now, one of the advantages of a behavioral analytics system is that it generates a very low manageable number of alerts. Now, first thing I want to draw your attention to is the transfer status column. The risky transactions, that's the reds, have a status of hold, while the yellows or anything lower have been auto-released for further processing. Now, let's take a look at the first one here, the riskiest transactions for that day. When I double click, it leads to what we call as our timeline page. A lot of information, so let me orient you to the top red indicator here. Each column represents a wire transaction, and the top row is the final risk score associated with that transaction. On the left hand side, you see all the attributes for that wire. The solid green bars indicate known established behavior, while the reds and the yellows indicate anomalies. Now, you can see some of the reds, like for example, new location here, downgrade automatically to a yellow and then to a green. That's dynamic account modeling, which self-tunes or self-adjusts without any input from Guardian or the bank, and thereby reduces any false positive that it may generate. Now, going back to our transfer 74, the easiest way to analyze this is to simply read the risk factors listed out. The first one here and the third one talk about untrusted beneficiary information. The second one is the originator amount of $3 million. Let's take a look at the timeline. Now, all the green bars are for transactions less than 100,000, while this one here at 3 million is clearly an anomaly. The fourth one here, the unusual OBI frequency, the frequency with which this originator uses the OBI field is uncommon for this transaction. Untrusted beneficiary location looks like it's going out to a new location. The last one here, the OBI field, the solution also mines the text within the OBI field to look for any indications of fraud. Now, with all of these risk factors, we understand why this particular transaction has a high risk score. And sure enough, the bank did confirm that this was a fraudulent transaction compromised using the business email compromise tactic. In addition to the alert management and the timeline capability, the solution also provides reporting and case management capabilities to manage fraud better at the bank. Thank you.